Hey, everybody. My name is Jacob Falkenberg, and welcome to another installment of Venture Portland webinars. And today we're going to be talking about holiday events. And we've got some very special guests from Prosper Portland, Bricks Need Mortar, and the Portland Winter Light Festival talking about their plans over the next couple of months and how you can engage with them and participate. So our first guest is Sarah Shaul from Bricks Need Mortar. Sarah is a wonderful partner with Venture Portland, and we're really happy to have her here today. Welcome, Sarah.
Thanks for having me, Jacob. It's good to be here, and I'm very happy to present what we're working on for the holidays this year. Jacob, did you get the slide presentation? If not, I can. Oh, you did. Fantastic. So I wonder, if we could do a quick show of hands. How many of you are familiar with Bricks Need Mortar and what we do? I see a couple hands going up. So why don't I just do a quick overview so we can get back to the holiday campaign. So Bricks Need Mortar was stood up at the very beginning of the pandemic to help small businesses, brick and mortars navigate all the challenges, and we've worked with small businesses from advocacy to marketing, which is what this the holiday campaign is, and also with resource guidance. Let's move to the next slide, please. Okay. I don't think I need to tell you all, I'm preaching to the choir. It's small businesses that inspire and create community here in Portland. And, small shops are really the hub where local makers first get to bring their products to market oftentimes. So they're really an integral piece to our economy. But again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, so let's move to the next slide. Okay, so we poll businesses on a regular basis just to get a feel for what's going on. And again, I'm sure you're all really aware. In Q2, we did a survey of small businesses, and what we've heard was universally, our small businesses are down 20 to 50% from last year. That's a pretty scary number. We know that foot traffic is down significantly. Much of that is reflecting that a suburban resistance to patronize Portland shops. And so we are taking this into consideration in a big way in how we, in our strategy for the holiday campaign this year. So let's move to the next slide, and I can get to that in a minute. Okay, so we, for some of you may know of a campaign that used to be called Little Boxes. We acquired that campaign, and we've been tweaking it for the last couple of years because things are not the way they were 4 and 5 years ago. So one of the things that we've done is expand the campaign from a 2-day event to a 3-week event. So the biggest reasoning behind that is, how can we give people enough time to visit businesses in all the different districts? 2 days is a tough timeline to try and hit all the different neighborhood districts. And just a quick overview. This may be covered in the next slide, but I'll just remind those of you who may not know. But really what this does is people get raffle entries for just visiting a small business. They don't even have to shop there. Just by walking in, they scan a QR code, they get a raffle entry just for visiting that business. When they make purchases, they get multiple entries. And then the more purchases they make, their entries actually multiply. So after 3 purchases, they get double the raffle entries. After 6 purchases, they get triple the raffle entries. And after 9 purchases, they get quadruple the raffle entries. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Let's move to the next slide. So the big incentive behind this program is that people will win prizes or can win prizes. We give out well over 100 prizes in this campaign, mostly because the participating businesses contribute prizes. The minimum amount would be like, we tell businesses they don't have to, but if they wish to, $50 value. Most businesses will contribute a $50 gift card. But the other thing we do is we go out and we procure other big prizes from events, tickets to dining experiences and hotel and vacation stays. This year, we work with sponsors too to help pay for this. It's the only way to make this campaign possible. And one of the things that we'll do with these funds is we're going to buy air travel, a big vacation package this year, because we really, really want to get a lot of people here and playing the game. And then one of the other ways that we do this is we do invest heavily into digital campaign and PR as well, and billboards, and there's also print advertising as well. So next slide. So here are some of the graphics that we're really emphasizing this to be fun and this to be a game, so that we can really inspire the consumer to have fun with this and to put the experience and the fun back into shopping, right? It's not really fun to shop online, and it's certainly not fun to shop big box. So that's the thinking behind these graphics. Next slide, please. Okay, one of the other, well, how we reach shoppers, you see the shopping guide. Many of you may have already seen the one we created for the last few years. We create 20,000 of these shopping guides. We identified the different neighborhoods where these businesses can be found. And then we distribute these at the participating businesses, and we also distribute them at local hotels. And this year we started, we pay to have them distributed at the Travel Portland Visitor Center, and we also pay to have them distributed at the Travel Oregon Visitor Center at the PDX Airport. We invest in earned media and paid advertising. We work with a lot of community partners in helping to amplify this. We through the Little Boxes campaign and through the work of Small Shops, Big Hearts, we have significant reach with our social media. And one thing we're really excited about is we have a really great and big email list that's approaching 10,000 consumers. So those are some of the ways that we reach shoppers. Next slide, please. Okay, so I think I framed up, oh, here, maybe I'm, okay, yes. So we want to make this campaign as inclusive as possible. Really, this campaign works not only on, I mentioned our email list, that it's big and juicy, but when you multiply that times all the businesses that are participating, each of those businesses has an email list. Each of those businesses has social media. This is all about community over competition. This is all about collaborating together to really send the message, to choose to shop small, make it fun, incentivize it. So we just want to make sure, and that's one of the things we're working with Prosper Portland on and Venture Portland on, is how can we make this accessible for participation for everyone who wants to do so. I mentioned earlier the higher value grand prizes. And one of the things that I alluded to earlier was we're just not getting the foot traffic we used to. We've been working with our friends at Travel Portland to identify markets where people are interested and will come to Portland. So we're going to be investing heavily on bringing people from Seattle, Bend, and Eugene, working to get those folks to come into Portland for the holiday season to shop small. Next slide, please. One of the things we do to support small businesses as well is we want to support their operations and their own individual strategies and how to best plug in with this campaign, and also how to convert the traffic that they get from the campaign into sales. So, and even how to use the campaign materials as a way to engage their existing customer base. So we do have a panel discussion that's planned for October. We will have the social media person from Travel Portland. We'll have our PR strategist, and we'll have a marketing specialist who will be talking about how to use holiday traffic for planning for Q1 2024 sales. So it'll be a really juicy session, and we'll be able to share more about that in the weeks ahead. Next, please. Oh, we've gotten a lot of earned media from the past. This is from last year's campaign, and we intend to do that again. Next slide, please. And I did want to say, like, it's really important that we direct all this media into small businesses. So when people reach out to us, we don't necessarily want to talk from the bricks need mortar perspective, or even the small shops, big hearts perspective. We want to be in businesses getting that media in the small businesses. So you'll see a lot of that. We ask people to give us their cell phone numbers. So when the press reaches out to us, we can text people or call them and say, hey, can we be at your business later this afternoon or tomorrow morning? Because this reporter wants to do a piece on this campaign. So next slide, please. Oh, questions. What I didn't get to share, and like I said, we are actually in the process of updating this deck. And we do have an event coming up on September 25th at Revolution Hall. I can put a link in the chat for that, where we'll share a lot more things. But we have created a new app to track raffle entries, so we're really excited about that. Yeah, there's a whole lot more, but I want to be really respectful of the other speakers that want to share some things with you. Happy to take questions now or later, and I'll put some more of our information in the chat, so you can reach out to me directly if you wish.
Thanks, Sarah. Really exciting to see how the program has grown over the years and kind of adapted to kind of this new world that we're living in post-pandemic. We'll save some time for questions at the end, but just real quick, when do businesses need to sign up, and how do they do that if they're interested in participating?
I'll put the link in the chat right now. We've already had businesses sign up. We have an early bird special happening right now where businesses can save 15% if they sign up by the 25th, which is the date of our event at Revolution Hall. The printing of the guide takes a lot of time just to make sure all the information is accurate. So we're really looking at October 1st is the final deadline to get into the shopping guides. And I will also say that the shopping guides are evergreen, so they are not specific to the holidays. So they're just connected, and that's just because of our bandwidth. We're able to produce that at the same time that we produce the campaign. So these get distributed year round at all these places. So if they want to be in the shopping guide, October the 1st is the deadline. I'll put all this in the chat too.
Cool. Yeah, if you want to drop the link into the Shop Small Win Big website, that would be awesome. A great way for folks to get more info on that.
Thanks,
and great. Our next speaker are speakers are Misty and Alicia from the Portland Winter Lights Festival. This has been a really exciting event in the dark and gloomy months post holiday season, and it's going to be back and bigger than ever, and they're going to tell you all about it. So welcome Misty and Alicia.
Thank you, Jacob, and thank you everybody for having us. We're excited to be here. This is our first presentation to this particular group, so this is really great. I have my screen here. I will start sharing right now. So we are the Portland Winter Light Festival. We are a free annual art event that takes place after the holidays in the beginning of February. So in 2024, our dates will be February 2nd through 10th. Our mission is to, build community and give access to people to experience like art and technology-based art in particular in the public realm, and to invigorate Portland during really the slowest time of year. And what we've found over the last number of years, we're going into our 9th year now, is that people are really, really responsive to all of that, especially right now. So last year we had 208,000 people who came out over the 9-evening event. People bring their children. Downtown Portland was full of people. But we don't only do installations downtown. We have art, anchor art sites downtown at Pioneer Square, the World Trade Center, and the Electric Blocks in Southeast on 2nd and Clay. It's the building with the graffiti murals around the parking lot. But we have pop-up art throughout the entire city. And that's what we want to talk to you about. We have an open call right now for venues to come and participate. And we would love to make sure that neighborhood business districts are activated with art in windows popping up. And we can talk a little bit more about what we're looking for specifically. But we're going into our 9th year. We have a lot of data. Every year we collect information from people about why they went out and where they went. And there was a pop-up last year in Milwaukee, Oregon, in someone's front yard, and they had 1,000 people in one night. So like people are interested in doing something at this time of year. And we would love to have you guys participate. And with that, I want to hand it over to our artistic director, Misty Post.
Oh, thank you for being here. Welcome. I just put a little bit of information in the chat for you, including my email address. So if you have some specific questions for me, you can get a hold of me that way. And as Alicia said, we are always looking for venues to have art in. So in the looking for venues, we have a couple different things that we look for. There's our theme, so you can take a look at that too on the website, just to give you an idea of what our theme is this year, what glows under pressure, which we feel is a little bit of a metaphor for Portland right now. But you can take a look at that on the website. And then we do want our Light Festival to be citywide. So we do focus on the downtown area, but then we also have art out in quite a few different neighborhoods. If you do take a look at our website and you go to the About section, you can take a look at previous years, which will show you our maps from the last few years. So it gives you an idea of where we have had art downtown and all throughout Portland, as well as up in Hayden Island, Milwaukee, Tigard, Oregon City, a few other places. So we do kind of extend the Portland out a bit for other people that do want to participate. So we're looking for a couple different venues. We are looking for venues that to host an artist. And then we're also looking for venues that will program the art. So these are some examples of where we have programmed the art. So generally some empty retail spaces. We work with hotels to program some of their empty spaces where we bring an artist in for either the 9 days of the festival, or sometimes we do it for a little bit longer. We do it for an entire month. It kind of depends on the venue and the artist, of course. Next slide, please. So here's a few examples of some of the things that we've programmed in the empty spaces. So we connect with the artists that submit to the Light Festival, and then we take a look at the venues that have applied, and we try to put them together to see what's going to work the best. So here's just a few different examples of things that we have done that we've programmed in empty retail spaces. Or here's the one in the middle was at the Nines Hotel. They have a wonderful gallery window that we were able to program, and the one on the far right is at the Blanchett House. We were able to put a couple twinkle trees there just to show off their balcony and so that they could be a part of the festival. So what makes a successful venue? for us to program something into a venue, we do need to access the windows for the art placement. I know this can be a little more difficult if we're looking at any retail spaces. So we can work with you to see if we can at least have a section or have something, an area where we can put the artwork. We do usually need to put something inside, especially if we're not downtown. So we need to be into storefront window because of security and just, you know, to make sure all the artist pieces are all secure and that they can show their pieces. We like large continuous windows. First floor is the best, but sometimes we can work in second floors or upper floors. We like clear windows. We can also work with some window treatments. We need some power for the artists. We do need power. We have to work with the extraneous lights. Sometimes we'll find a great place, but you'll have some big street lights right outside that shine right on the window that kind of wash out the light art. So that can be a little difficult, but sometimes we can cover those, or there's things we can gel or turn off. And we do like to have at least an 8x8 or a 10x10 space. But again, if you have a smaller space, we might have some smaller art that could work in it. We love to have something that's close to public transit and close to other locations or installations. We try to do some clusters so we can at least have a few different pieces within, say, a 10 to 20 block radius. So then people can plan their night out and, you know, maybe they go to Southeast for one night, or maybe they're going to go up on Foster or Woodstock for one night and kind of plan some things where they can go see more than just one piece. And then we also have our art with location. So this is where people are doing their own thing in their own space. So these are all examples of the private residences. The one on the left is an artist that has installed lighting in his glass blocks right out in front of his house, which are just so fun. Then we've got the Stinky Goats, the 3 Stinky Goats in Milwaukee. They do a goat garden of lights started by the Girl Scouts, and their parents do this whole display, which is just wonderful. And then we have the Magical Mushroom Garden, which is one of the places that saw 1,000 visitors in a night. And again, it's artists doing their own thing in their own venue. Here's some other ones. We have the art galleries and collectives that do their own exhibit, and they let us know what we're doing. We approve it, and then we put them on the map. And so they get quite a bit of traffic coming into their spaces. We ask them to be open for the hours of the festival, which are from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. If some places can't be open during that time, we at least want the art piece to be on and lit up. So then people, if they're driving by, they can come by and see what's going on in there, even if they can't enter the space. Here's a few other examples of a permanent light installation. This is at the Portland building. There's a building that was just being constructed downtown, and they were able to light it all up. And then we had a architecture firm do something in their parking lot with these great inflatable creatures and trees and stuff. And it was just on for a weekend too. So we can also work with you if the things can't be up for the entire 9 days of the festival. Sometimes things are just on for the weekends, or maybe there's a one-night performance or event. And so we can talk to you more about that. Some more, here's a great one at the local store, a Gifty Kitty over on Mississippi. She does this fantastic display, and then she is open a little bit later and has lots of music playing and makes it into a whole event. And she did say that she got quite a bit of traffic in 2021 when we first started doing these, more of our program inside store windows. There's the Love sign at St. John's. We always love seeing that one. And then we had artists set up at the Cleaners at Ace Hotel. They did their own installation here and had a few different events that went on with this installation during the 9 days. We do have some fees, which we can talk to you more about. We have a community partner fee. This is providing your own art. We put you on the map. We talk about what lights or what you can put in your space. We also have, if you want to be a venue to host an artist, and this is mainly so we can pay the artist. And then we have a community partner sponsorship, because we're always looking for sponsorships from local businesses and corporations a little bit, but also just individual people help sponsor the festival, because it really is a community festival. And then some additional notes, we can't program artists into a private residence. Again, like I mentioned, because of security, we always encourage any location to find their own artists. If they work with any light artists or an artist group, or want us to possibly connect you with someone in your neighborhood, let's talk about that. But if you know of anybody that works in light art, we always want to talk to them. And it's great, again, to find those clusters where you can have something in your space and then talk to some of your neighbors that might do it too. Installations, we like them to be viewable from the street sidewalk. Sometimes if the installation has to be inside, we can, and you can't view everything, we at least want to have some lights or something that identifies that you're a part of the festival, and changing your light bulbs or adding some lights is a great way to do that. The artists, excuse me, need to have access to install a couple days before the festival and then strike a couple days after the festival. And sometimes we can talk about having them up longer. Maybe it's the entire month of February, maybe we could even go into March, but we can talk more about that. Said if you have your own location with art, we need to know what you're going to do, and we need to know your vision and see what approve your installation, just the idea of it, and we can always help you with that and talk more about that. We'll notify and place all our artists by November 3rd. Our call for art is coming up. The deadline for that is September 22nd, and the call for venues is September 22nd too, so we have a few more weeks. And if you have any questions, you can email me. I put my email in the chat. It's misty@pdxwlf.com. And then I also put the link for the venue forms, so you can see more information about that. Both deadlines are Friday, September 22nd. And we can, if you have some questions about that or can't quite get your proposal together by then, we can talk about that more too. And then we do have some lighting and video resources if you need some more help finding lights or talking to someone, if you have some ideas to make something happen.
Yeah. There are a lot of ways to get involved also. So if you don't have the right type of big window right on the street, like maybe one of your neighbors in the business district is doing a piece, and you want to like put lights up and have a hot chocolate stand, or just keep your doors open late one day. There's so many ways. And what we hope is that this sort of takes on a life of its own in the business districts, and that people are just filling these areas with light and art, staying open. We're putting things on the map, and so traffic is coming to those areas. And the best, as Misty said, is when there's a critical mass. So there's like a handful of things for people to check out. Even if you don't happen to have an art piece in your window, if you're open or if you're active somehow, then people will take notice and kind of, they want to pop in out of the cold sometimes, even it's that basic. So it's like people are really, really open to exploring during this time, and they've been sitting at home and they're bored and they've gone to the trouble of coming out. So there's a lot of ways to get involved. And then the colors that you see on the side are our colors for this year. So those are like, if you want to set up lights in those colors, then we're hoping the whole city will be full of these 4 colors for the week. Yeah, sorry, Misty, go on. Yeah. There we go.
Nope, that's absolutely it. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Here's just a couple examples of how people have lit up their street. So they didn't have an art piece inside, but the one on the far right is 2nd Avenue, and they had some gobo lights coming down and lit up some stars. And so then when people were walking by, they saw the pretty lights, and then they would stand in the stars and look at that and take some pictures, and then continue on the street or look and see what's going on in that business. So like Alicia said, there's lots of ways to get involved. More pretty pictures of that. Thank you.
Thanks. We're happy to take
Alicia and
questions.
Misty. I love the photos. I mean, so cool what the artists come up with, what just people come up with on their own. I had a really great time biking around all the different neighborhoods last year, checking out the different installations. So I think it's great that it's a citywide thing. Yeah, I'm glad that it's happening for as long as it does, because I think you need multiple days to actually see everything, which is really cool. And if you don't have a space specifically that would work for this particular thing, talk to your neighbor, because all the businesses around a business that hosts an installation, they benefit too from the increased foot traffic in the area. So if your neighbor has a great space, see if you can collaborate with them. Okay, I want to make sure we have time for everybody, so we're going to move on to our final speaker. Amanda Park at Prosper Portland is going to talk about some of the things that they have planned and some resources that might make it a little bit easier to participate in some of these programs. Amanda, hi, how are you?
Hi, Jacob. Thank you. Thanks for having me back. Happy to be here and excited to share with you all sort of what we've got cooking over at Prosper Portland, and actually in partnership with some of the folks that you heard from today. We are working on a program using ARPA funds. Prosper Portland was awarded ARPA, American Rescue Plan funding to support commercial activations. The team has brainstorm different ways to support commercial activation in neighborhood shopping districts, and thought the winter season might be a good season to jump in and provide that support. So we're looking at a winter and holiday retail community program. We're calling it a retail community program because it's not just limited to organized business districts or neighborhood associations. If you can get a critical mass of businesses interested in participating, then you would be eligible to be considered for this program. Businesses in each of the shopping communities that are selected to participate would receive some storefront design supplies. That could be simple things just like window clings, lights, maybe stencils, paint, things like that. We're also partnering with Sarah Shaw with the Win Big campaign, looking at some special access for folks participating in this program. And then the community that's selected would receive a window display. A window display consultant comes out and meets with folks to provide some feedback on what you might do in your storefront to kind of bring some energy to that space through the holiday and winter season. We'll also have a professional window display built in that community in a vacant storefront. And then for the Winter Light Festival, that holiday display will be transitioned into a winter light installation. Our team will support either the business community in hosting 2 events or special happenings to celebrate the holiday window, and then also to celebrate the winter light window. And then our team will also support with marketing and promotions. What we're really looking for is just a critical mass of people to participate. And I think what we've heard from both the Winter Light team and with Sarah Shaw and the Win Big campaign is that getting the businesses together to participate in the thing is what brings some life and energy and attention to going there. And so participation could be as simple as putting some lights in your window. It could be like we've heard, staying open late. I think we're asking businesses that are interested in participating to agree to also have some window clings that will tell about the campaign and how to engage in different offerings. That's essentially it. So the next step for businesses that are interested is you just go out and talk to your neighbors. If it's through a district, if you have a district manager, then you can work with your district manager to identify businesses that want to participate in this program. And then you submit and let us know that you're interested. And based on how many folks submit an application, then we'll sort through and see how many business districts or retail communities we can support. We're hoping to fund at least 10 activations, but who knows, depending how we work the budget, we could potentially, make that go further. We're looking to see at least 4, maybe 5 businesses interested, and those need to be within probably ideally a 2-block radius, but I think we're considering up to 4 blocks. We want folks to be able to walk and visit everybody that's interested. There will be a link. I'm looking at the expression of interest form right now, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not quite ready to send it out. I just want to do one quick pass, and then we'll get that out to everybody.
And Amanda, do you know when the deadline would be to apply for funds?
So I think we're looking, we want to align as much as we can with the Winter Light Festival. They do have their venue, their application for venue selection is September 22nd. So we're hoping to have it close to a little bit before then. And then if the need to extend it, if we need to extend it, then we can look at doing that as well. I should clarify, this is not an application for grant funds. This is application for the program to be available. So working with Vida and Calor, Michelle Comer, who's overseeing this program, she'll come in and provide the support. We will pay for the installation and we will pay for the holiday window. We'll provide the kits, we'll do the marketing, we'll provide the funds for the launch events, but that's all done through Michelle Comer. So there's no grant funds that are awarded.
Okay, great. So if they are chosen to participate, Michelle will be there with them every step of the way
That's
to
right.
provide support and make
Yes.
sure they're kind of on schedule and doing things,
Mhm.
kind of meeting the requirements of participation, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and honestly, I know a lot of businesses are participating or like members of a business district, and so they have the support of a district manager. Then there are others that are not. And so we wanted to make sure that if a business is not in a business district or doesn't have that district manager support, that they can still participate in this program and have the support they might need. Business owners, we know y'all are busy. You don't necessarily have time to be coordinating other businesses and getting things teed up. And so we have Vida and Calor on contract to provide that support.
Great, great. So I will send out a link to that form where you can express interest if you are interested in participating in Prosper's program. And Venture Portland also has grants available right now for winter events. So it might be a good opportunity to kind of combine efforts with those two things. Those grants are due on September 29th for any projects happening in November, December, January, or February. So business associations are eligible also to apply for that. So there is potential to kind of get multiple areas of support to make this as big and exciting as possible, to draw in as many people as possible. But what questions do you all have? We've got a really great lineup of presenters here that are a wealth of information about activating business districts during the winter season. What questions do you have for them? Feel free to raise your hand, drop it in the chat, or just chime in to take advantage of their expertise. I guess a question I had for Sarah was, with the Shop Small, Win Big campaign, it seems like it's mostly geared towards retail businesses, but are there ways that restaurants and service businesses, other types of businesses can participate as well?
That's a really great question, Jacob. Thank you. With this program, it's really focused on businesses where you can get gifts. And so I will give you some examples of businesses that have repeatedly participated in this program and that may not fit the category of traditional retail. So there's like Nosa Familia Coffee, they participate because people buy coffee as gifts. And other places are like New Deal Distillery, they've repeatedly participated. Places like Event Cosmetics, because people can buy gift certificates for services. Those are some of the out-of-the-box places. We are really thoughtful about, there's a few things that are required with this program because people are there to get raffle entries. So people will be coming into the business and scanning a QR code. Now, if your business is not set up for that, we don't want to burden any business, right? So I did have, like, for example, a tattoo business reach out and said, is this the right thing for us? And if you don't have a if someone's going to walk in and interrupt you working with a client, that's not going to be an ideal fit. And we certainly do not want to burden. So we're happy to work with someone, talk through it, and see. There might be ways that we can post QR codes in a way that can introduce someone to a business without burdening them.
Awesome. And if, a non-retailer maybe can't participate, could they still donate prizes or sponsorship or anything like that?
That is a great question. And we do have people participate in that way because, like I said, we have this great prize list and we promote the prizes. This year we have an app. So we have all the prizes are listed on a prize. I don't know how to talk about apps, prize page on the app, right? The prize button will show all the prizes so they can be shown there, but we also promote all the prizes in social media and through our email list. So that's a great way. And we often do a lot of reach out to restaurants and hotels. A lot of hotels provide hotel stays as prizes.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Okay. Anybody else has questions, feel free to chime in. I'm just going to keep going because there's a lot of information to digest, I know. My next question is for the Portland Winter Light Festival, just about some of the installations. So if you decide to participate as a venue, do you get to have a say in what installation will be in your space, or do you get to work with the artist at all? How does the specific piece get selected for the space? Is that something that you as staff for Winter Light Festival do?
We do. So the art team goes through all the proposals and we take a look and see what will actually work in what space. And so we work and try to, match the spaces where the artwork will work the best in the space. We always make sure that everything's family friendly. And we will then, once we make that match, then we connect the artist with the location and then ask you to start talking with the artist. And we'll give you an idea of what their plan is, but we're the ones that curate all that. If you are doing something in your own space, then you have creative control over that. Again, we still ask it to be family friendly, and we will work with you if you have questions on lights or the best way to do things, or if something's appropriate for the space. But we do program all the artists in the venues that we program. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's best leave it to the experts because not every installation is going to work in every space, because they're all very different, which is, I think, part of the magic of it. You're always going to see something new and exciting, no matter where you're going.
They really are. And we also make sure that we try to have a low barrier of entry for some artists that maybe haven't shown before or that do want to do something in their space. So you may not have something that's big and huge and dynamic, but it might be a sweet little piece that they want to do in their own front yard or they want to do in their own store. So we always allow for that as well.
And what happens to the pieces after the festival's over? Do they go back to the artist, or are they available for sale? Or have you had people actually create permanent installations over the years?
We've had all that. We do the majority, 99% go back to the artist because it's their piece and they're the ones that are creating the piece. I mean, unless something, that you do in your own space, you can certainly commission an artist too, if there's something that you love and you want to work with that artist. We do ask that at the festival that there's no vending on our locations, because we've just found that's a little too difficult. But of course, if you have your own store, you can do whatever you want to do in that store, and you could have an artist that could have their piece for sale in that store.
Awesome. So there are options available, which is great, because I know a lot of districts have been talking about investing in some permanent lighting that they can kind of have activated year round, but also still participate in the festival. So I'm hoping that they can move forward with that.
And one quick thing about that, if you are investing in your own lighting, we would suggest that you get color changing lighting, not just white lights. And that way, if there are any other events that you want to promote or you're doing things for, that you can change those colors. And because Alicia said earlier, we try to distinguish ourselves from holiday events because we happen after the holidays. And so, you know, we want to make sure you have some nice, bright, colorful lighting and not just the white twinkle lights. Those can accent your other bright lighting, but we want to make sure you have some very colorful lights as well. And that's one great way to do it.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I'll send out a copy of that slide deck that has that color palette right there on that last slide that you all can kind of follow as you're thinking about what you're going to do. It's going to be coming up quick. So it's definitely something to be having conversations with your boards and your neighbors about participating, because September 22nd is the deadline if you want to be a part of it this year. I know it's hard to think that far ahead, but there's a lot of planning that goes into these events. So trying to get a head start as quickly as possible. Any other questions for our presenters? It looks like Liz said she shared her information with the building that she works, and they were a past participant in Portland Winter Light Festival. Hope to be again, especially since we're neighbors of Green Anchors. Love the love sign. Liz, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience participating, or was that something that was just kind of done in the same building? Did you not work directly with the Light Festival on that?
I did not work directly. I wasn't working in the building at that time, but I remember going to visit. We had the atrium all done in the Light Festival, but since the building is going through some construction, there are some empty spaces that are street facing and have big windows. So I was thinking, how cool would that be to just raise awareness for the space? You could do it like on the way to see the love sign kind of thing. So anyway, I texted the site manager to see if they're interested.
That's a great point. So question for Misty and Alicia. If it's a vacant space, and you might know the property owner, I think it would be a great way to activate empty spaces and really liven up, a street. A lot of business districts are struggling with vacancies. Can it be just, a property owner that says, okay, we can activate this empty space?
Absolutely. Yeah. You'll see if you go to the call for venues that when we're looking for venues, we do want the contact information for the owner. And then you can describe to us the vacant space and, let us know it's available. And we always know the caveat that we are trying to program. We're doing it so early that if they do get a tenant in the space, we understand that, and we will do some shifting. But yeah, definitely let us know if there's a vacant space around you that you think would work well. Take a look at that deck and you can look back again at what we're looking for in a vacant space. And Liz, we're definitely reaching out to Green Anchors, and we're hoping to get them more involved again this year because we want to bring St. John's back into it. We love the love sign up there, but we'd love to have more things for people to do up there as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So unless there's any other questions, we will call it a day, but I'll be following up with you all with more information over the next couple of days. Yeah, Sarah.
I just wanted to remind people that I did put it in the chat. We do have an event coming up on September 25th. And I recognize all of you pretty much on this call. I know you're all pretty much district managers. Most of you are anyway. And you are so integral in helping support the small businesses in your districts. And I just wanted to share, I think one of the things we hear from businesses all the time is they want to connect with other small businesses. And so that's something we've been really focusing on. So this event at Revolution Hall is a mixer. It's a retail mixer, and also we'll share more information about the holiday campaign and how it works. And so we encourage you to share that with folks. We know that I've already seen the RSVPs, and I know there's going to be press there. Travel Portland's going to be there to share more about how Travel Portland's helping small businesses. And I also shared, and actually, Jacob, rather than worrying about our presentation, this link I think is really helpful to share with businesses there as well. So that's all I have to share.
Great.
Really
well,
good to
mark your calendars, September 25th, 6 to 8 p.m. at Revolution Hall, and I'll send the link out with the rest of my follow-up. So keep a lookout for that. And yeah, thank you to Sarah, Alicia, Misty, and Amanda for sharing all this great information. And hopefully they will help you all have a little bit more of a merry and bright holiday season and beyond. So certainly feel free to reach out if you need any other information. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.